Okay, no talk, business.
I like the talking. Come on.
We are extracting things into the repository.
Yes. So we need to like modularize basically all the SQL queries we have.
Yep. I will start with the get items. Why not? Right? So
simplest part of it.
This is probably no. Even this line goes there as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is probably what I need here in another method. I'm going to create a method. Okay.
Just simple methods, maybe.
Just a simple method. What is it going to return? Well, it's
Get
going to return a
items,
list of items.
Yep. So you need to import.
Get items?
Yeah, simple enough.
Get
Do
items.
we need any parameters in it?
I don't believe so. I mean, it's returning all the items in the database. So I don't think we need we could need an identifier, and I think we will need that for
later.
The next one.
Yeah, actually.
But for this one, I think this is good enough. Okay, Java or IntelliJ, do your thing.
It looks weird.
This may throw some exceptions. Fine.
Result. Why is result.getInter?
What is what? Where?
Found duplicate code.
Yeah, it found duplicate code here.
Oh my god. Okay, this is
too clever.
Yeah, too much.
So we can return the items here.
Yes.
Finally, okay. Looks good enough for me. So here we can replace this repeated code with
even that.
Items repository get items.
Yep, and remove that.
And this becomes, lo and behold,
my god, that looks so simple.
A one-liner.
Yeah.
Super cool. I wonder if it works. I will refresh and I will go to Postman and I will rerun the tests. Because that's how we check that the thing is still working.
Yep.
So here we have the TODOOSE collection. Just run the whole test suite and everything is passing. So
looks like it's fine.
We have refactored, not broken.
Yeah.
Do you want to change something about how this works?
Okay, just the indentation looks off to be honest.
This indentation?
Yeah.
I think it's too wide, maybe like this.
Yep.
I mean, it still looks terrible, but it is better, I suppose. Okay, next one. So for the next one, we are creating an item.
Yep.
Right here.
Yeah.
So let's create a method called
public same.
What does it return?
I think one. Does it return anything? Can you check?
Oh yeah, it needs to return whether. No. This always succeeds.
Fine. Yeah, this always succeeds.
This always succeeds.
Yes.
So we just.
Yeah, you don't need to return anything.
We just say.
Create item.
Create item.
Yeah.
It doesn't take anything as argument either.
Yeah.
It just does its thing, and it may throw an exception.
That's it. Items description. Where is description?
Description is the name of
column. Yep. Yeah. And it's an empty values. Yeah. Okay.
So now we can replace this with
nothing.
Items repository create item.
Yeah, that's it. No. Yeah.
Restart the server and rerun.
I think it's going to be a
pass. Next, we are deleting items from the database. This time we need the item that we want to delete. So public, it returns the number.
Integer. Yeah, it returns an integer.
The number of items that were affected.
Yeah.
Or maybe it returns a boolean whether it deleted the thing or not.
No, it's number of rows.
Well, but in this case, we are deleting one item. So it may only ever be 0 or 1. The fact that we are equating this to 0 to get 0 or 1 to get 1, I think it's better to translate into a boolean.
True and false, okay.
It is more meaningful for whoever is using the repository than a 0 or a 1. I don't know. I think this is good.
So yeah, I generally I don't really have a problem with 0, 1, but yeah, true false is like it's English, so you understand it.
Yeah. So
public boolean, delete item.
Delete item.
Yeah.
And it takes
the
identifier, which is an integer.
Yes, it's an integer.
And I call it identifier. And now we copy all of this. And I know I'll have to make some changes, but I'm starting with that. So yes, it may throw exceptions. And
You
we
need the
execute.
context.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you have
This
to
is the
basically pass it.
identifier.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
yes, this is the identifier, and I just need to return. So I'm going to return true if it has
it's
deleted
one,
something. So I will return if this is equal to 1. And I will close this statement. Oh, okay.
That's not.
That is in the wrong order,
Yeah.
right? So I want to close this statement. And I want to do the statement execute update. Well, I cannot do that after closing, so I have to do that prior to closing.
And have the value.
I'll have to say deleted. Huh?
No.
Has it deleted something?
Okay.
Is deleted maybe? Do you want to change this?
No, it's fine. I don't mind deleted.
Is deleted. That is probably more Java-esque. Okay.
Semicolon in the end.
Happy.
I think you can remove a lot of this. First, delete the entire thing.
Yeah, so I can say instead of statement execute blah blah blah, I can say items repository dot delete item with the context
Identifier,
that I just
CTX,
deleted,
yeah.
and I don't remember how to rewrite it, so I'll just copy.
CTX param, yeah.
Okay. Copy this right here.
Yeah, remove the statement dot close. I think that should work.
I can make. Huh? What?
Will this be
the other way around?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You know what? I'm gonna leave it like this because I want to prove that the tests are helping us. If we have a good enough test suite, this will break things. And lo and behold, it breaks things. Yeah. It expected a 204, got a 404, so we know that there's something odd with the statuses, or the study in Latin. There you go. This looks good to me.
Yeah.
I think this is good enough. Now we can move on to the next one, which is updating some identifier.
So you need to pass in the identifier. And here you will have to pass in two things actually, right?
Yeah, let's see.
The identifier and the description.
So public. And again, we need to tell whether the thing was changed or not. And I can call it edit item. And I have to say what the identifier is and also
the description, previous
description.
Yeah.
Not the previous, the one that we are updating right now. So yes, this may throw.
It will throw you.
It may. Won't, but it. Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Description and identifier. And then the same deal we had right here, right? Except that I won't call this is deleted. I'll call it
is edited.
Edit. And now we can come
here. No.
Yeah.
Again, are we editing just, we can edit just one item, right?
We can only edit one item because the identifier is unique.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
So now we come here, we say items repository edit item and copy. This is the second argument.
That's
and
the
this
first.
Is the first. This will return
an integer, either 0 or 1 again.
And again, we can use this logic from here and copy this whole line.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You deleted the wrong thing.
Oh, I think this is perfect. Do you see a problem?
No, I thought. Can you scroll to? Yes.
Yeah, maybe we can make this
more readable,
more readable like so. I would argue that this is not very readable, but it may be better. I don't know.
Okay, run the test suite.
Okay, so in 10 minutes we were able to extract
all the database
whole repository.
Things, yes.
I think this interface is clumsy, however. This edit item interface in which you receive an identifier and a description, blah. I don't quite like it.
So what do you want to do?
One thing we could do is to get the item, one item from the database, use the setter in the item object,
right,
and then persist that back.
Yeah.
Do you like that better?
Yeah.
It will change how we are doing things.
Yeah, you have to import the items class, have to use the items class to actually put in stuff to the database.
No, the repository will be putting things into the database. The items class will be used here the same way that it already is used here, like so. Hang on, this may be too abstract. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to commit what we have because this is working and it has done something meaningful. It has extracted
database
repository from server. And I'm going to commit this, okay? Now I will start the idea I have and we'll see if it goes well or not.
Okay.
First thing I need is to be able to get one item from the database based on its identifier.
Yes.
So it will be a get item as opposed to get items. Yeah. It will be a get item and it will receive the identifier. Yeah. And this will do something slightly different from what we did before. So we'll need a statement that is a prepared statement like this, but not exactly. We want.
You can copy from the top.
We want to select
items.
We want to select.
Just no, this one.
Okay, and I put the parentheses again. This was going to fail.
Yeah.
So we want to select the identifier in the description from the items where the identifier is equal to this, and we can copy this here to get a particular item. Yes, this may throw. And then I can use the same idea I had here. So I'll copy this for now, or even this line. So now we know that statement execute query. We don't need to tell it the query again because we have a statement. So we can do it like this, I suppose.
Yes.
And then we must be able to get a result next. Next.
Yep.
Dot. So if result.next, we'll do some work. Else, we'll need to throw an exception like item not found exception.
Yeah, you have to define it.
Yes, and create a new class, item not found, in the repository, okay. Looks good to me. Do you have a problem with that?
Should exceptions not be in a separate module?
Well, I suppose it's related to the repository, so it's fine if it's in the repositories module. But I'm just sketching something out here.
Okay.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah, we can refactor again.
Yeah. So this was unhandled, and I will now handle it by saying that it may throw. And now, finally, we can do something that looks like this.
New item, yeah.
I don't need the loop, but I do need to close the result, no matter what. Yeah.
So that gets you the item.
Missing return statement.
Yeah, because you return an item, you need to return. You have to return. Yeah.
So what I can say is item equals null. I don't have to say equals null. And then in here I can say item equals that. And then here I can say return item. There are better ways to do this, but I think this is good enough.
I think we've heard that statement a lot of times.
Yeah, so this will for sure return an item because it will for sure either run this line or throw.
An exception, yes.
Fair. So now here, for instance, in the edit, whatever, in this guy, right?
Yeah.
So here we can say items repository get item with the item identifier, like this. This will give us an item, var item.
Yeah.
Then we can say item.set description equals to this description right here. And then we can say, we have an extra parenthesis, we can say item, or we can say to the items repository, update item, or really update, because it's already about items.
Yeah.
So update item. And now this update method, of course, doesn't exist. I just made it up. Oh, and this may throw some exceptions, I suppose. What is the problem? Surround the try catch. Because it may throw an exception, but I don't want to surround with a try catch. What I want
Can
to
you go
do,
to the items repository?
yes, I am trying to go there. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, man. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I just want to see. Okay, so get item, all it throws exception. So it was going to throw an exception anyways.
Yeah, but the problem is that this SQL exception was already handled. So I can always come
Yep,
here and say
and say
item not found exception. This
Yeah.
will make the
It
problem go
yeah.
away. This problem go away,
Yeah.
I suppose. This problem go away. But I want to do this some other way. We'll see in a second. Hang on there. So this update method is still missing. So I'll create a method called update. It will not return anything, but it will take an item.
Yep.
And it will do something similar to this. But I don't need to return whether the item was edited or not, because it will always be edited because I just got it from the database, so I know it exists.
It exists, exactly.
So I can not return anything, but I will have to do everything else, including throwing an exception possibly.
Yes.
And I don't get the description and the identifier from arguments, but I get from the item that was passed in.
Yeah.
Get description, item.get identifier.
Yes.
I don't need to check whether the thing was
Yeah,
edited
and you
because
can
it
remove
will be.
that. You don't. Yep.
I don't need any of that.
That
So I
is
can
perfect.
execute, and then I update. And okay, so we'll see. We'll see. Now, the problem here is that this may throw an exception. If it does throw an exception, it's because the item was not found.
Yeah.
In that case, I know what I want to do. I want to return a 404. So I'll take the 404 from down here, and I'll put it here. The rest of the logic needs to go in here. And if the thing works fine, I will do it like this. Now I will erase all of this, and this is my implementation. This item.null, I don't think I need. I can just save var.
Yep, you don't need.
So this looks better, I suppose, but it will look
Run it.
Yeah, I believe it works fine, but I believe we can make this even better. We'll see. Yeah, everything is. Oh, hang on, there is a problem.
Open.
I will try. Assertion error expected empty to equal some description. So that has to do with
the test. I know
put
this. Yes.
Item is edited. It has to do with this test. So it appears that it's not updating in the server, really. Let's see. Get item, set description. Oh.
It's empty.
No, it's not. This is the default in case this isn't passed, but this is passed in that request. Then update item and return a 204. Let's go to the update item. So it creates a statement. It gets the description from here, from the item.
But the item doesn't have a description.
Well, it does. We just set the description. And now I want to double check the setter, just because I don't know. It seems to be doing the right thing. So you know what? I'm gonna put a breakpoint right here.
And see what
I want to restart the server, but now in debug mode. And I want to go to Postman and only run the test that I know is going to make this fail, the put request. And now the server hangs there. Yes. Bam. All right. So now let's look at the item. It is supposed to have the updated description, some description, and it does. If I execute update now, this should update one item. It should return one, right? Yeah. Let's evaluate this, and it returns one. You know what? And close. Now let's look at the database directly. We have a new entry in the database that is Identifier 74. And 74 by this time should have some description, and it does. So now,
is it not closing something or anything?
Now let's run the rest of this. So Postman will see the result, and the tests are passing, and there are no errors. It doesn't complain about anything. So let's remove the breakpoint for a moment. Can you help me find the breakpoint?
Yes. Yeah.
So now I removed the breakpoint. I can come here to Postman and send a request again. No problems. Everything is passing.
What?
The console no longer complaining. Okay, stop the server. Restart it in not debug mode, but in just let this run mode. Retry. Everything is passing, no complaints. So I'm gonna blame this on maybe I just hit retry before the server started or something. I don't know. But in any case,
because you didn't change a thing.
Because in any case, it is working.
Yeah.
But it's good to show how we debug things.
Yeah.
But now, there is something I want to show you. The thing is, this 404 happens not only on this request, but in other requests as well.
Yep.
We have a similar logic everywhere. Well, it turns out that in Javalin, there is a way to handle exceptions. Like this. Yeah, let's go to the Postman documentation. Not Postman, Javalin. I kept saying Postman, it's Javalin documentation. Show me the docs for exception. Exception mapping, perfect. So we can tell it to handle an exception always the same way.
Nice.
So now we can say app.exception. If we get an exception of the kind item not found, then we have an exception and a context.
Yep.
And we can say that the status should be 404.
Yeah.
And no instance of type variable exists so that items conform to the exception.
What? Inherited from throwable, right?
Yeah, maybe that is the problem. I don't know. Maybe this should be exception.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. So now we can get rid of this try catch.
Yes.
Entirely. And I think that is the value in doing this two-step procedure of getting an item and then updating it.
Okay.
Yes, on the one hand, it's more meaningful to get an item and update it, and then now we have an update item thing that will work with any kind of update. So if besides the description, we also had some other attributes.
It will work all together,
like an assignee or something. We had other attributes. The update thing would update everything.
Yep.
And we handled the exception in only one place.
Yeah.
Which will become useful if we change this as well, which I think we should do. I think we should do this right now.
Yeah.
So now we'll come back to the repository and we'll change how delete item works.
Yeah.
Right.
You find the item first.
Yeah. So I'll do something similar to delete item, but I will call it delete. Yes, I am creating multiple methods. I will remove some of them in a second. I'm calling this delete, and it will receive the item. It will do the delete, except that it will get the identifier from the item. And I don't need to tell it whether it works or not, because it will work, because I fetched this item from the database.
Exactly, yeah.
So I don't have to do this part.
That's it.
And I don't have to do this part. Yeah. Now I can say here, I can say items blah, items repository delete the item that I got from here.
.get, right? Yeah.
Okay, that all looks good to me. And now if this doesn't find the item, it will throw the same exception that this was throwing. So it will run into this same handler, which will handle the exception uniformly. And I think that's the main value. So now restart the server, rerun the tests, hope for Postman not to choke again.
Yes.
Perfect. And now we can come to the repository and see the things that we are not using. So we are not using delete
edit item and delete item both.
we are not using. We can tell that we are not using them because they are in gray.
Yeah.
That also helps. So we can see all of these gone, and we can rename get item to just say get.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe, I don't know.
So because we have update and delete here, that's why get, even though it's not as descriptive.
Yeah. We have now here the structure is items repository get items. Well, we don't need to say get items. We could say just get all.
Yeah.
And then create item could be just create. And then get and update and delete.
Yeah.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. Is there any other method that you need to rename because you changed get items to get in server?
Well, yeah, that's the thing I was going to say right now. So I was not only rewriting the names here, I was using F6,
so
which
you
is...
were technically refactoring here.
I was in the refactoring using F6. It seems to be called move. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, no, really, I was using Shift F6, muscle memory. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was using the rename refactoring.
Yeah.
So I was not only renaming it here, but also in all the uses in here.
Then.
Which seems to be good. Let's see if we want to reorder this. I want the get
to be
item to be right next to get all.
Yeah.
So now we see the structure is get all, get one, create, update, and delete.
Yeah.
Which seems to mimic very well the structure of the API. Get all, and get one in particular for the sake of these two. But then create,
then delete,
then delete, then update. And now we have extracted the repository in a way that I'm happy. Next, we need to extract controllers. Because we are calling the repository here and we are calling the repository here, but there is a benefit in having one more layer of abstraction
there,
because if we have a lot of these kinds of lambdas, it can get overwhelming.
You want one particular thing to control the working of all of these lambdas.
So now I will commit this, extract some more of the repository.
You can say repository extraction completed technically because next you have controllers.
I could. Let me just review the commit real quick, and it seems to be good. So I'm pushing. I'm not rewriting that commit message. It is not worth it. But yeah, on the next one, we'll extract some controllers. I see you there.